The Summer Criterium series is back in Perth, and I take you on the West Coast Masters, C-Grade Masters race at Kewdale. Lots of action, lots of things to unpack, and yeah, if you've been following my vlogs recently, you know that I love racing when I can. I'm trying to get stronger, but most importantly, I'm trying to have fun. So welcome back and enjoy today's vlog. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, another vlog. And Summer Criterium series has just restarted West Coast Masters, and today's race is at Kewdale, which means it is close enough for me to comfortably ride there to have a bit of a fun race and get back home. So that's where we're headed to today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and yeah, we're just gonna have some fun. No real intentions of a podium or anything, just going out there, taking it as a training ride of sorts, because I'd like to do well for National Champs Grand Fondo. Woo! Okay, let's go. So I opted to ride in to the race instead of drive in as I usually do. Kewdale wasn't too far away, but on the bike path it was like 20 plus Ks, so I thought, yeah, that'd be a great warm-up. But halfway through on the way, I started to panic because I'd left the house a little bit late, so thinking that I would be able to reach there with plenty of time. Turns out I reached there with about 10 minutes to spare, which was enough for me to get my number pinned on and my transponder as well. But I'll remember not to yeah, leave so late in the future. Alright, so I'm pretty excited because I'm racing on my new wheels. I raced in Singapore, the Polaris SLs. Was keen to see how they perform in the crits, especially because they're so light. And yeah, I chose my Echo helmet over my Cast Nirvana because well, when you sweat, it doesn't show as much. It doesn't allow the sweat to just soak up in the foam and then just leak down the side of your face or into your eyes. I don't know what's up with the Echo helmet, but it's really good. Also, today was not just windy, it was warm. It was getting rather warm as I was headed up. And what I'd done for the day was I brought one gel with me to have before the race, and also water mixed in with white sugar and electrolyte tabs. So that's what I had to fuel me for the race, which was about 45 minutes plus 2 laps. So around about 50 minutes there, left, right, thereabouts. Didn't really know what to expect. C-Grade has been getting quicker and quicker over the months and over the years. And so not sure if I was feeling it that day, but here we are at the race, and here's the race finish. Alright, just about to begin. We're at the start line. All the different people here. It's a pretty big group today. We are gonna have some fun. And have some fun we did during the race. But before I go on, I just want to do a quick shout out to a few of the guys I race with pretty often. Chris Peniston, number 115, Shane Starling, who works at West Cycle, good mate, number 118. Who else do we have here today? Jodie Craig, the only female cyclist in C-Grade, number 105. You'll see her in the blue kit. And Dave Harwood, number 109. Oh, forgot. Did I mention Max Hill? A good mate of mine. He loves to attack, and you'll see him off the front later on. Okay, so I was given an assignment today. There's a rider, I don't know him very well, but Rob Cousins, number 104, and he was my assignment today. Basically, he's been really strong, and I was told, Nat, if you can do me a favor, make sure you end up in front of him. And I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. I don't know how my legs are feeling, but I'll do what I can to just hang on and see if I can best him. Rob is a strong rider. He sometimes rides in B grade, but I don't know, maybe for health reasons or work or whatever, he's been racing in C. But he is one strong man, and I was gonna hang on to his wheel for the entire race. So that was my assignment, and I would keep to it. Things I want to talk about during this race commentary It's basically all about racing with West Coast Masters. I'll give you some information on that. I'll also talk about what it takes to actually race in a criterium and why I think if you're watching and if you haven't raced before, you should join in and race. Now, if you are on a trainer, this is a 45-50 minute effort. You can jump on and you can pretend to be me riding, and you can just enjoy your ride or time on the trainer. So hope you guys enjoy the race commentary. Hope you guys enjoy the footage, and if you like, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you've raced in this, how you felt about the racing, what grade you're racing in, or if you've never raced before, if you actually want to start racing at all. So we've got Jody here on the right on her Cannondale, the yellow bike right there. Chris Peniston 115. We've got 109, that's Dave Harwood in the unicorn kit, pink and black. We've got number 102, Mike Andrews, who is right there in that kit, and you'll see Mike light up the race a fair bit. I don't know him personally, but he raced a pretty darn good race. And here we go. The start was a bit chaotic, but going up you can see lots and lots of people, and I was right at the back end of business. We've got Jamie Dumden from the UK. He just moved, and that's in the MCC kit, number 106. And I'm right behind number 123, David Vass from the bike place. You see on the blue kit over there, that's Max Hill. And Max would start to light up the race. This guy loves a solo breakaway, or loves to lead people into breakaways. Now, for me, I was looking out for Rob. Where is Rob? I was hunting around, wasn't sure where he was. I had a not the most ideal of starts, and starting at the back is not exactly where you want to be. Very fortunately, it wasn't super frantic, and so, yep, I could go on. And slowly I started to creep up on the outside, looking for my man to follow. The wheels were feeling really good. The tires I've been on, I should actually talk about the tires. Yes, the tires I've been running for this year, 2025 so far, have been the Maxxis Hyro G3 tires. And I can tell you that they are really grippy. They are supple, grippy, comfortable, and best of all, I think they're great value for money. Great value for money in the sense that they actually cost a lot less than all the other different brands. Okay, so I am sitting on the outside here looking for my man, but I don't see him as yet. This is number 101, Ben Aldis, and you would see him feature in the race as well. I'm right at the back there. Jody Craig is on the left on the yellow bike, the blue Eddie Hollands kit. And so going through the corners, one of the things that I've enjoyed so far, and you will notice that as I go through the corners, my RPMs don't go down to 0. And the reason is because I am on 160mm cranks. And these 160mm cranks are actually so good. I can pedal through the corners without worrying of pedal strike. And it also helps me to keep my momentum rolling through, so I don't have to put stupid watts out, maybe 300 to 500 maximum, but nothing more than that, to out of the corners. So essentially just a hard seated pedal without standing up and going full gas. So I found my mark, 104. 104 Rob Cousins is right in front there. Jody is in front of me. I'm on her wheel. I don't want to let Rob go too far away. Now during this race, one thing I realized is that the fighting for positioning has gone up a lot more than before. What do I mean? So West Coast Masters like racing used to be like, you just race and people sort of give you space and stuff like that. But more recently, as you can see, like just around this corner, that's number 110. No, that's not 110. 114. That's Kevin McElduff. Kevin loves his AG2R Le Mondial kit. He used to wear the old one with the brown shorts, but racing has become a little bit more, how do you say, competitive. Everyone's trying to push each other out, thread through small holes, and it's good and bad. I think, in my opinion, it's good in the sense that it becomes more competitive, more fun, you get more control. It's bad if you're trying to thread through a hole that is not there. So thankfully, for Masters racing, most people, I would say most, have a job to go back to on Monday. And so they will try their best to not, well, get people in trouble, which is a good thing. That beep you hear there is the beep that reminds me to take a sip of my water. And that's one thing that you'll hear every 15 minutes. I've said it, I take a sip of my sugar water and electrolytes, and that basically helped me to refuel or fuel up, plus have electrolytes so that I don't cramp up. I'm still pretty far at the back, and this is not a place that I'm particularly happy to be in, because I've got the fear of missing out, massive FOMO when it comes to breakaways. And so here Jody realizes that there's a break and she moves up, I move up on side, I jump onto Kevin's wheel, and I've got Rob in my sights once more. Rob, if you are watching this message is out to you, mate. Love your racing. Sorry I didn't do a turn, as you see later, but I had a job to do, and so I did it. I've got Jody on my right, Kevin in front of me, and Rob right here, 104, and this is where I start to try to stick. Now, one of the reasons why I want to stick to his wheel is, number one, I was told that he was the strongest rider in the whole bunch. So when you're racing in a criterium, you don't always have to go all the way to the front and have the fear of missing out on a move. Just stick with riders who are experienced, because they will know when to move up. Sometimes they are the ones who actually make the moves happen. You can see over here, there's a lot of, well, the race is very compact, everyone is trying to hold their position, but it's still early, it's still very, very early in the race. So with the race at about 45 minutes plus 2 laps, you don't really want to go all in and crazy unless you're in the wrong grade and you're super strong and you do a solo breakaway, or you work with someone and go early. What you usually want to do is wait till at least the second half of the crit and then make your move. There'll be people who try to make their moves, but it was a very, very windy out there today, and small groups, well, they wouldn't have actually held out, as you would see later on. There was A grade going past, so A and C were racing together on the same course. The pros and cons of A and C racing on the same course is that pros, you shorten the overall time in terms of organizing the race. Road closures don't have to be closed for that long. You don't have to extend it. But at the same time, you've got a lot of people out on the course, and sometimes the A graders, when they come through, they shout, go left or stay left, and with all the noise and all the wind and everything, sometimes you can't hear it, and so they get pissed. Well, we get pissed as well, but anyway, that's racing, and that's about sharing the road and just being mindful that there are multiple grades out there. So I am on Rob's wheel, he goes, and I try to hold his wheel. The great thing about drafting Rob was that he's a much taller person than I am. Big bloke. I think he's like he could be 186, 187 meters tall, 1.86, yeah. So it was a very, very good draft. And as you can see right behind him, I wasn't putting out too much power, and yeah, it was pretty cool. He's starting to make his moves up the peloton, and I'm just following his wheel. Remember, my only goal for today was to basically beat Rob at the finish line, and so all I had to do was just stick with him, and hopefully if he went, I'll be able to come around him. He's making his way all the way up to the front, and I follow. We're going past so many people over here, and I'm going like, man, is he actually going to start to make his move? Flying at about 45 km an hour, but not doing too much power because it's a tailwind on this straight, and Rob's a great draft. You can see the handlebar over there that's fighting for position over there, and I just made sure that I was slightly ahead, just to be able to hold onto Rob's wheel without losing this wheel. But later on I would lose it, I would lose a wheel or two. Here Rob goes and I thread on the inside, and he is just making a massive move. He goes and I'm just hanging on. You look at my heart rate, it's like going up 85, 185, 186. Goes around the corner and I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I actually didn't know that there was a group in front who had actually broken away. A group of 3, I think. And so Rob saw it as something dangerous and he wanted to close it. I wasn't going to close it. I was just going to go on for the free ride. The free ride wasn't that free. I mean, like 500 watts and then slowly decreasing because the draft was good. And he's looking behind. Oh, did he pull anyone along? Yes, he pulled me along. I looked behind, there was nobody. So it was just the two of us. And he was flying absolutely into the headwind, closing this group down. In racing, you got to decide, am I going to stick to the plan or am I going to do something silly? And right here, I was just going to stick to the plan. My heart was already at like 191. Like, that is, yeah, redlining it. And so we actually catch this group here. Dave is right there. You can see Max in the blue kit, and Rob is still gunning it, trying to get onto the wheel. We bridge up and there was a massive gap. I think it was like a 10-second gap that Rob closed. And here as we go down the back straight, going into turn number 3. I hear someone in the white kit and he's like, let's drill it. I'll let you hear the conversation, eh? There's number 117, Matthew Richardson, fast man. He's like, there's 5 of us, let's rotate, but Rob doesn't rotate. So you got Max at the front, you've got someone in between, then you've got Matthew Richardson in the white and maroon kit, you've got Rob Cousins, and there's me and Dave Harwood behind. No one's doing a turn. Matt goes up to the front. Max comes down, and obviously no one's really working together. I wasn't gonna work, and that's me being selfish because my assignment for the day was just to beat Rob. 104. 104 was on my mind the whole way. I had my blinders on. And Dave Harwood on the right goes solo because he sees that no one is working, but his effort would fail because why? Well, everyone would bring him back. I think here, number 104, Rob knows that, hey, nothing, this thing isn't gonna work. And so if it's not gonna work, well, I don't have to really put in any effort. Or maybe he was just tired, I don't know. But I just stuck to his wheel and everything basically slowed down. We pretty much sat up and the peloton would basically, everyone came back together. So in terms of race tactics, what would you have done if you were in my shoes? You had this assignment. Would you have done what I did, or would you have attacked or had some other plan? Drop a comment below. If you're enjoying the footage as well with all the telemetry layovers, that's absolutely fantastic. I would love for you to leave a like, leave a comment, share, or just join in the conversation. So far, let me talk a bit about my wheels. So far, my wheels have been functioning really good. Very aerodynamic, even though they're super light at 1070 grams. The Ascent Polaris super light wheels, the SLs, have extra light hubs, and I noticed that the extra light hubs actually have fewer engagements than my previous wheels. And a lot of people have asked me, Matt, does the fewer engagements actually affect your riding? And my answer is actually no, because when you're racing, you're constantly putting pressure on the pedals, so your ratchets are constantly being engaged, so you don't have to worry about instant engagement like you would, let's say, mountain biking, where instant engagement could mean you fall off or something like that. So the wheels are working a treat. Rob here looked behind and nope, no one, I'm not working. and he gets onto the drops and he starts pushing for it. Max Hill, that absolute legend who loves to light up races. He is one strong guy. He's a little bit older than I am, but mate, he loves to ride and he is strong. So kudos to you, Max Hill. Whenever you do an attack like that, you always light the race up and it makes it really interesting. Without riders like you, racing would be really boring. Rob looks around and goes like, oh, is anyone gonna do the chase? I end up slightly in front of him for a while, and as you can see, I just sit up. Look at my power numbers, not going very high. I actually put my hands on the tops and start to slow down because I'm not going to chase Max. I'm not going to waste my matches. I've got a drop to do. I'm going to stick to it. And there we go on the right. Someone goes off and I'm just waiting for someone to chase. Now, I don't usually race this way. So this was really new for me. And being new, it was a little bit of a gamble. But I knew that I wasn't racing for a podium place yet. I was racing basically just to be in front of 104. And so here I am, just plodding along, 37 k's an hour, just under 200 watts, hands on the tops, and the two guys have like disappeared into the front, but I'm not really worried because I'm pretty sure that someone's gonna follow. Rob actually makes an attack on the right, and I jump back onto his wheel. He moves left. I think he didn't want these two guys to actually escape, so Max is out front with another guy. I didn't see his number, so I can't give it to you. But there you go, Kevin goes off, and so do a few others, including Matthew as well. I think it's Richardson, yes, Matthew Richardson. And so Rob pulls me back onto this wheel again, and we start to close down the two escapees at the front. We're making a lot of ground. They just made a turn, we're making the turn now. I think it was no more than about a 4-second gap. So here I am again on the back straight. It's into a headwind. It was like a slight cross headwind. So if you stayed pretty much on the left, you would get some shelter. If you went all the way to the right, you were basically in the gutter and you didn't have much shelter at all. Everyone's slowing down because the two guys are almost caught. We see a lot of nice bikes out there. Lots of nice bikes. There's Dave Harwood on my right, and he's trying to get onto Rob's wheel, and I stick to wheel, and as we go around the corner, I latch back onto Rob's wheel, and sorry Dave, you're off Rob's wheel. His wheel is all mine, mate. Kevin and Max are caught. There's 124. 124 is Brendan Williams. He's number 124, the green and black kit with a little bit of red. And so we're all pretty much back together, and it's the same usual suspects at the front end of the race. We've got 109, that's Dave Harwood. We've got Kevin coming up on the right here, Rob right here, 102. And we've got this guy from, I think, Elevation Cycles. I can't see his number. My camera's a little bit lower. The number's pinned too high. My bike is pretty small, size 47. So when you put the camera under the handlebars, it's pretty darn low. It's almost wheel level. So I might try to do something like put the camera up on the helmet or something, but I'm not sure if they will allow it. Rider number 120... something, I can't see. This guy on the right, on the Giant, he's fighting for Rob's wheel as well, but I get slightly ahead. One of the things to note is that it is dangerous to dive bomb on the inside, so try, if you're racing this for the first time, criteriums, don't try to make up places by cutting in on the inside. It can be pretty dangerous, so only if there's enough space and if you've got enough speed as well. Okay, so we're all back together now. Everyone's back together, and I'm checking my heart rate, 179, that's good, speed's good, I'm feeling fresh, still just sitting on the wheel. If you notice, my power hasn't been going up very high at all. I continue to spin, I don't stop, I don't freewheel, simply because I just want to make sure the momentum is going. Rob here looks a bit uncomfortable. He'd be doing that most of the race, just standing out of the saddle. A little bit of a sign that there is some discomfort, and so I would let that, well, sink into my head and go like, yep, he's not super comfortable on the bike today, and that's a good thing for me. David Vass coming up in the pink and a black bike place kit right there. And as we go around the corner, a few riders would start to go on the outside. Now, every time a rider goes off on the outside, there is always that fear of missing out, so massive FOMO. But if the big dogs, and in this case 104, 102, don't move up, well, it just means that they know that these guys probably won't get away, so there's nothing to fear, no panic. Don't have to waste any matches trying to move up. Usually there'll be 1 or 2 people who would start to move up, and then you just latch on and the whole race comes together. And I'm telling you as if I'm a seasoned pro, but no, I'm just about learning this lesson myself. And I would learn this lesson over and over and over again and get it hammered into my head that, Nat, you don't have to be at the pointy end of the race all the time. In fact, if you're at the pointy end of the race and you are not very strong, what's going to happen is that you're going to come through and get spat out the back. And so as you can see right here, I'm at probably what, 20th wheel or something. There are guys behind me, but I'm nowhere near the front. The race basically just keeps coming back together. It spreads out, it comes back together, it spreads out, it comes back together. No one has made the decisive move because all the big guns, the big dogs, are still in the middle of the peloton conserving energy. So conserving energy is the name of the game in the criterium, especially for smaller riders like me. I am just under 70 kilos, standing at 172 centimeters tall. I ride an extra small bike that's also fairly lightweight, 6.8 kilos on the dot with pedals and everything on. So pretty happy with the weight, pretty happy with the performance. And right now I am just sitting in the draft of one of the strongest riders in the peloton. So if you're riding for the first time, it's useful to actually see who is strong. If you don't know, you can ask around, and people would be usually happy to point out the strongest rider, unless of course you ask the strongest rider themselves, and they'll probably not tell you anything. And so here I'm just sticking to Rob, and I can see that he is a smart rider. He knows where to be at the middle part of the race, and here this is literally the middle part of the race. There's nothing much happening here, just soft pedaling. There's a tailwind, and I'm just hanging onto his wheel. Now, hanging onto the wheel is one thing, hanging onto a wheel through a corner is another. And here I'm on the outside. Now, depending on who is at the front, sometimes they corner well and take a good line, cutting through the apex and then exiting to the right. Sometimes they don't. And so it's important to know who you're following and who's on the inside, if there is anyone on the inside. Because if you don't see anyone on the inside and you cut in too quick, that is a recipe for absolute disaster. So here we go again. I am still on the, well, on the outside of this corner going in, and at this part of the race it is okay to be so-called boxed in. And here at the back we hear A grade shouting, and there's Ricky Andrews just threading through the unicorn boys there, or the A grade, you can see with the white numbers pinned on their back. And so that's A grade, and they've obviously split. Half of the A grade peloton has split up. They've got a very strong breakaway group. Ricky Andrews is a tiny guy, but he is an absolute crazy pocket rocket. Jody is doing a good job there hanging with the boys. She is an excellent racer, been racing for decades and on the track and on the road. And as you can see, she's got a very nice rim brake bike in bright yellow. She races on this beautiful Cannondale, and yeah, if people say rim brake bikes are dead, they're absolutely not. You'll find a few in this peloton today. Good to be racing with you, Jody. Very, very good to be racing with you. Always enjoy it. Always like how you take it to the guys. Keep it that way, and yeah, continue to race and race safe as well. Here, Jody wants to take the wheel, but Rob doesn't go in. Rob wants to go past, and here he stands up again. So he must have been feeling a little bit unwell. 102, Mike Andrews. Mike Andrew is right there, and you can see he wants to take the wheel, but I'm just sitting right next to him there, holding onto Rob's wheel. I'm not letting him take that wheel, because once he takes that wheel, well, it's me having to work, come up again, and basically burn more matches just to get back on the wheel I want to get onto. You see the bright blue kid right in front, Max. Once again, you'll always find him at the pointy end, and you'll always find riders like these at the front. Now, riding all the way at the front doesn't guarantee that you'll still be there at the end of the race, and I want you to notice that, because after this race I had a chat with Max. Max finished the race, yes, but because he had expended so much energy at the front, he did not have enough power or enough energy left to actually compete in the final sprint. The bunch is still back together, everyone is still together, and we're trotting along at about 40 k's an hour, and everything is still pretty calm. No one has launched any crazy massive attacks since the first one that actually failed, and so it's still pretty safe, so to speak. And when racing, I think another thing that I have learned is that you just gotta remain calm and trust that the peloton, if it's big enough, they will try to reel back anyone who tries to escape. Or the big dogs, if they smell something, they will start to move, and that's when you actually make the move. So far, everything is still very, very calm, as you can see. It's past the midpoint of the race, more than, I think, about 20-25 minutes already. And if you can get through the first half of the race, things usually get a little bit more calm. So the first part of the race, everyone is excited, full of energy, going, surging, attacking. If you can survive the first half of the race, the second half, there's usually a bit of a lull before the last bit of the race, where attacks come left, right, and center. But as you would see, if you remain calm on the bike and know whose wheel to follow, is actually really good, and you don't have to stress too much. And that was pretty much my ride. Not super stressful at all. You'll see people moving up and down, having conversations, and sometimes those conversations will be like, hey, you want to go with me? Or alright, yeah, team tactics basically, or tactics with friends of your enemies, your frenemy. Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so sometimes people in different kit do work together, and we see that fairly often in racing, at least in C grade, where we don't have too many teams out and about. Today I was in Midland kit, but there was we didn't exactly have a team out there today in C grade. Most of the guys have raced in B, which happened earlier, and so it was pretty much me. There was another guy in the MCC kit, the guy from the UK. What's his name again? What's his name? Let me just search for it on my list of names and numbers. I can't find it. I can't find it. Anyways, here we go. The race is pretty much spread out. We have slowed down a lot, partially because of the wind as well. And as we go into this corner, no one is attacking as yet. But there would be some attacks that fly later on. Every time you see the peloton like fanned out like that, you know that things are still pretty chill. And here, as you can see, this camera is on wide angle, and so it doesn't look as if we are actually that close, but in fact we're actually really close, and there are people left and right. And so if you're racing, it's always good to have good bike handling skills. If you don't handle your bike too well and you're all over the shop, then that is a little scary, not just for you, but for everyone else in the peloton. Here Rob starts to go, and is just to close a small gap down, and we see number 124 Brendan Williams there on your right. Triple one John Liso, triple one, he's right there on the white bike. And on the left, someone in Oasis kit goes up, Jody goes up, and I lose my wheel. I lose 104, but I try to keep him in my sights. Different guys going up on my left and on my right, and I go like, I don't want to lose the wheel. I'm popping my head out to see where Rob is. And so right here, I'm looking, and Rob is about 4 wheels away, and I got to decide, do I want to just stick here or move up to the front when I can, so that I don't lose his wheel. If Rob moves and I'm too far behind, that is it for me. I will have no chance whatsoever. And so right here, I make my move on the inside where the wind is not blowing as hard, because the wind direction is changing a little bit. I see a gap and I start moving up. One by one, I start going past, and I spot Rob right ahead and go, yep, fantastic. But I've got this guy on my wheel, 102, Mike Andrew. And since he's right there and he seems to be a good wheel to follow, I sit on his wheel and follow. Rob pops out and I go, yep, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm just gonna hold on to his wheel and maintain my position going into a corner. I find that in corners is a great way to push riders out and hang on to your wheel, because falling behind by moving out ever so slightly, you're slowly and nicely pushing riders out of your way. But that also means that once you go back on the straight, they could actually start to slowly move in and push you away. We go past number 114 Kevin there. I get stuck a little bit, almost touching the handlebars of number 102 Mike Andrew. That wasn't very nice, mate, but oh well, that's racing. I get back up to the front and go right next to Rob, and I'm out here eating a little bit of wind, but I stay on the left going into the corner because I want to make sure that I actually make up a place or two. Not dive bombing, but just being there. So I'm just on the hip of number 102, trying to make sure I don't overlap wheels as yet, trying to play it safe. And as we start to enter the corner, I try to keep it safe and try to make up places if I can. I can't. I'm holding on to 102 and I still move up. And right here, you can see that this guy is trying to hold on to the wheel, but I close it down immediately. He stays right and I stay on the wheel of Mike Andrews. Coming to the corner, Rob 104 is still in front. I haven't lost my mark, and so all is still fairly okay. The only problem is that if someone makes a move, well, it's not actually a problem. If someone makes a move now, even a Rob won't be able to follow, and so that's not really what I'm interested in. I'm just interested in making sure that I am close to 104, but right now 102 is in the way. But what can you do? 102 is in the way, just holding my spot. You can see the racing here, that everyone's really close to each other. I could easily just reach out and tap this guy on his hip if I wanted to. And sometimes people do that, a gentle nudge away to let them know you're there, especially if they can't see you. And so here we're fighting for wheels. I'm not going to let Mike Andrew go, and I'm not going to let anyone take his wheel, so I'm right there. And if you are racing, you just got to hold your line, be steady, don't be a pushover, hold your line. Even if they try to bump you a little bit, don't worry, you will still stay upright, unless it's like a kung fu kick, which will never happen. It's immediate DQ anyway, and that's not really good sportsmanship, especially if all of us want to get home the next day. What you find is that with Masters racing,
the Masters riders all want to get home, and so it's not as crazy as open grade racing. Although as you can see right here on the left, I'm just fighting for that wheel. Number 111, John Liso, just taking a gel down there. You see the guy in blue, Max on the right, Jody up at the front, 102 in front, 104, and Rob starts to go, and straight away number 102, Mike Andrew, sort of closes it down. And so I sit in his draft and we go because someone has gone off the front. Rob deems it to be not too important, so he's not going full gas. And here as we go through the corner, yep, we're sprinting out of it again, but I'm still staying seated because I'm pedaling through the corner, and you can only do that if you've got shorter cranks. So I've tried a whole range of cranks. I remember starting, my first bike had silly long cranks like 175s, and then I swapped to 172.5, and I was on 172.5 for quite a long time until I managed to get 170s. And for the longest time I was on 170mm cranks, and the 170 cranks, I had them until pretty much 2023. So in 23 I got the chance to move, mid 23 I think, I moved off from the Jura Ace cranks that I had late 23 to some Neutron cranks, which are 165, and so I ran the 165 cranks for about a full year before I swapped to 160 and 155. 155 is just a little bit too short, and so I wouldn't recommend that, but 160 seems to be the sweet spot for me, at least. So you've just got to give it a try and see if you like it. What I found, as you can see with the 160 cranks, I am effortlessly pedaling through corners with much joy because I don't have to freewheel and then start hammering down crazy watts. The wheels so far are performing absolutely flawlessly, cutting through the wind. Even though they're lightweight, they're so light, they don't seem to lose the speed at all. So I'm holding speed, I'm accelerating really quickly, simply because it's not heavy like a flywheel, so when you want to go, it goes. It's just like some cars where you can have a upgraded aluminum flywheel, which is supposed to spin faster. Anyways, back to the race. Everyone's pretty much back together. We got 123, David Vass, the bike place right there on his beautiful Pinarello. 104, Rob is still in front of me. I can see him, so I'm not panicking, although I would very much rather be in his wheel, because every time he goes and if someone cuts in, that's one more person, one more bike I've got to make up for. And here I am, now it was 3, now I'm 2 wheels back from him. So I've got 102 in front of me. He's a great draft, and I can't see that number. I think it's 124. Brendan Williams with the Rota green, black and red kit. There's a group of guys to go up. I can't remember if those are A grade or not, but we didn't seem to be in a hurry to catch them. I think they're C grade as well. And so if you can handle the numbers, like in the middle I've got all the power numbers there. If you have an FTP about mid 200s or low 200s, you'll be able to ride C grade for sure. D grade would be a bit too easy for you, and if you want a challenge, C grade. So C grade would be around 200 plus watts. On the flats, you don't really need to count watts per kilo, so that's absolutely fine. As long as you've got raw power, that's okay. Here I try to go up, but 102, Mike Andrews defends his spot very well, and I managed to slot in right behind him. So don't worry if you don't get the spot you want. You can always try again. The speed is still high 30s, nothing too crazy at this point. Brendan Williams rocks up on the right as we get into turn number 3. we're pretty much in the mid pack right now. And if you've noticed, at the start of the race, we were like at the last third of the pack. So we had like 28 riders. We were the last 8 thereabouts. And as the race progressed, Rob has steadily moved up. So that's something I learned. You don't have to move up immediately. Stay within reach of the front, but not too far up front, because you'll be wasting a lot of energy. The first few riders at the front are putting out a lot more watts than the people in the middle of the pack, because the wake, or the open gap where there's less air resistance, is going to be the biggest in the middle of the pack, and that's where you want to be. You might still be having to put out a couple hundred watts every now and then, just to make sure that you're not losing the wheel in front of you. But overall, in terms of the energy expenditure, it's going to be a lot less than if you were at the front. Just don't fall for the whole fear of missing out on a move thing. As you can see, the guys at the front are slowly peeling off one by one, and I'm probably like 8th wheel right now, 8th or 9th, thereabouts. Jody is still right there. We've got Rob, who's still in front of me. Kevin is up top right. And here, I'm just threading through on the inside. It's a little bit dicey. I hate being on the inside because it's like the curb and then a rider, and you're literally centimeters away from the next rider. So if you get pushed off, it's not a great feel. And here we get through the corner safely again, and that's great. Rob stands up and starts to put down the watts. I sit down, tuck in, and just go. And here there is a move. So this is the I think 2/3 through in the race. 2/3 through in the race right now, and coming close to the end. And Rob puts in a fairly big one, because guys at the front have basically made a move through the corner. The best place to attack is through a corner. You can actually slow down a little bit, sit up a little bit, and then power through. And what you get is an accordion effect. Because you've slowed down, everyone's slowing down, and when you shoot off the front, well, people have to actually put in a lot more watts than what you put in to try to catch you. And there we got beautiful plane flying overhead right there. Amazing shot. Amazing shot. The airport is pretty close by, Kewdale. So this is Kewdale, and if you look at the map of Perth, Kewdale is right next to where the Perth International Airport is, which is near like Cloverdale, Belmont area. So lots of planes flying over here. Not the best place to live unless you love airplanes and love plane spotting, but that was definitely a great shot. I might actually use that as a thumbnail later on. Okay, so the race has come back together. It's almost going to be ending. I think we are at probably the 40-minute mark. And if you've been listening to me ramble on for the last 40 minutes, good on you. Fantastic. I really appreciate that you spent your time with me on this video and watching it. If you've been on the trainer, good on you. I hope you've been out of the saddle sprinting or putting down some big watts, as I've been putting down some watts through the corners and just chasing number 104 Rob Cousins. Things have lulled down a little bit, sitting at about 8th wheel, 7th or 8th wheel, and I'm actually wondering what is going to happen next. So as I mentioned earlier on, if you get through the first half of the race, things usually calm down for a little bit before it gets spicy again, and it usually will get spicy on the +2 laps. So when they say 2 to go and they hold out a little board with the number 2 on it, things will start to get spicy again. People will want to try to break away, increase the speed, drop anyone they can drop off the back, spit them out, and then go for either a solo attack or a reduced bunch sprint. Heart rate's at 176, not too bad. That's tempo. RPMs are a little bit low, but that's good. That just means that it's nice and calm. This race was interesting. I didn't find myself on the drops until probably the last lap. I was pretty much on the hoods most of the time, as were most people. For some of the more technical criteriums, you want to be on the drops a lot more. But for this one with wide sweeping turns, I didn't seem to need it that much. And also sitting at the back of Rob Cousins here, fantastic craft. There was no real need to get aero at all. So if you find the right wheel to follow, you can actually literally get a free ride. You just put in a few efforts here and there, and you're basically cruising. Like a lot of the ride you can see is like low hundreds, nothing too crazy at all, simply because I've got a good position. All right, here we go. When the guy asks me if my legs are good, he comes up and says something, Rob. I don't know what he says, but whatever it is, the race goes on. You got guys in B grade coming across on the right. They're going. Max is on the left. I think he's a little bit puffed. This might have been 2 laps to go. I didn't see that happen, but you can see the speed definitely increasing here. So I'm on 6th wheel at the moment. Rob is definitely putting in some big watts. If I'm behind him and pushing 300 plus, he must be pushing like 500 plus right in front of me. Maybe a bit less if he's in the wake of the person in front. But essentially there are 2 people off the front, and we want to close it down because the race is coming to a close. And if they're let loose, well, that's not great. It means that we've lost it eventually. And I think the 2 at the front, one of them was Jody. So kudos to you, Jody, for attacking. If that was you, that's a really good late attack. And a late attack is always a good move if you can hold it. If you can't hold it, then unfortunately when you get caught, you usually get spat out the back. And yes, and that is Jody on the right there as this group flies by. There are a couple of guys at the front, fast men, but I am sitting on Rob's wheel, trusting that he knows what to do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am 7th wheel right now, and we have Brendan Williams over here, and he's starting to lose places. 124. We go right past him as we go into the final turn onto the finishing straight again. I'm not sure if we will hear the bell, but I'm sitting tight on this wheel. It's getting exciting now. My heart rate's starting to go up a little bit, 187, because we've been putting down a little bit more watts than before. But here it seems to have eased up a little bit because we've caught the front. 2 to go. There you go. That's the sign, 2 to go. So that was the 3rd last lap. 2 to go means that we have officially crossed the 45-minute mark. 45 plus 2 laps. And so the games start to come out over here. If you are joining me at this point, skipping through and finding this spot, you've come to the right spot because all the action is happening right here. I'm sitting right behind Rob Cousins, 104. My assignment of the day is to finish the race in front of him. And so I've been sticking to his wheel like I've been stuck on flypaper. You can see that Rob is very, very calculated in his moves. He's not going to the front. He wants to save as much energy as he can before we go into the final lap. He's a big, strong lad, so he could be either doing a bunch sprint and trying to win in the bunch sprint, or escape solo. And right here, I got someone on my right. He's trying to get in to the draft, but I am not letting him. I'm sticking close to 104 and basically poking my elbows out a little bit just so that he doesn't come into my space. I want to stay upright. You can see he's like on the drops and feathering his brakes. He goes past us 111. That's John Liso. John Liso, sorry, you're not taking my wheel today. We've got 117 up there as well. Matthew Richardson right here in the white long sleeves. He says something to Rob. I'm not sure what it is, but anyway, we go through the corner. And it's almost the bell lap. We will hear the bell once we go round the left. 111, John Liso comes up on the inside. Rob seems to be not really interested. He just goes like, I'm just gonna close this up. There's 1 more lap to go. 1 more lap means there's plenty of time to get around these guys if I want to get around them, and so I'm just sticking onto his wheel. We've got a few guys up front. There is the bell. There is the bell. This is the final lap, and I don't know what's going to happen in my head right now as we're going. I'm thinking, who's going to make an attack? Who is Rob going to follow? This yellow Cervelo comes up. I can't see the number, but Rob starts to move up. And so I follow his wheel. He goes on the outside, but never mind. I'm in his draft. And I trust that he's got a big engine, and so as he goes, I go as well. But he's careful to not go all the way to the front. He just goes up next to Mike Andrew over there on the left, 102. We've got a guy in black, I can't see his number, and we've got the guy from Elevation Cycle. As we go round this turn 2, Rob starts to push it because the guy at the front is starting to make an attack. I sit on Rob's wheel, and there is a nice juicy bunch of watts there. But sitting in his wake, it's pretty good. We got Richardson, who moves up, number 117. We've got Oasis Rider, I can't see his number. And this is where it starts to get a little bit spicy. I am stuck in the middle here, and I'm not giving up my place. I'm holding really nice and tight, because I've got guys left, right. And so here, this is where you actually just have to realize, just go, hold your spot, and people start to sprint. Rob is on the outside. I am boxed in a little bit, but this Oasis guy seems to be going. Rob seems to have lost his legs, and so I look back and go like, okay, he's not going anywhere. I am going to go. Richardson is behind as well. I keep looking back to make sure Rob's not coming up behind me. I didn't stand up for a sprint for this one, because mission accomplished, and I was a bit too far anyway from the back. On hindsight, maybe I should have gone to try compete in the sprint, but mission accomplished. Finished in front of 104. Lee Jordan, that was my assignment from you, and there I completed it. It was a great race all around. Rob came in just behind me, and thanks to everyone for the amazing race. That was it. So thanks for staying for the race. I've got a few words with Lee Jordan right after this in 3, 2, 1. End of the race, and I'm at 1 corners with Lee. Lee, assignment completed. You don't have to talk about it, but important thing, when's the next race and where?
So next weekend we're racing Splendid. If we get anywhere near the numbers that we got today, we'll be over the moon. The numbers today, and I spent all day on the phone yesterday with people complaining about grades. It was so good to see the grades bigger, numbers, and everybody looks like they had fun. So
how many people have we got today?
95 entries today, and it was good to see.
Fantastic. Go West Coast. Woo.
See you, mate. Thanks, mate.
All right.
Talk soon.
Cheers. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Ciao.
See ya.